So, as I said, I'm Tim Marusik. I just want to make sure, I got your permission. I'm just going to talk a little bit about your trajectory. If you don't want to use your name, that's fine. But I was inspired because I heard what you're doing for Donald. But do I have your permission to record this and use this to try to inspire people that are coming out of homelessness or addiction or incarceration?
Yes, sir.
You cool with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So what's your name, my friend?
My name is Aaron Jackson.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
And then what's your name, my friend?
Donald Bryson.
Donald, this is a special day, man. What's the date?
Today is
May 28th.
May 28th, Humble Design Day.
And somebody came into your home, and what did they do?
They furnished everything from top to bottom.
Looks amazing, huh?
Bath towels to soap dispensers. Everything. And it is unbelievable.
Yeah, it is.
Sure.
Well, first of all, this gentleman here, he gave you a foothold when you needed it. Do you mind, how about if you kind of recount how it is that happened?
I think Donald was at his brother's house, and it was Hemet,
Yeah.
and he wanted to, excuse me. And he wanted to find a place that would help him out. And Hemet is kind of small, so I told him, come on down to San Diego. He came down, he stayed with me for a week. He went around and he found what fitted him the best, that was gonna work for him. I went to work every day. I didn't push him along, and I came home one day and he had a suitcase full of shoes there, and I go, what happened to Donald? And I got a hold of him, and he was at the rescue mission. And for about the first, how long did you have to stay in there?
I was there for 10 months.
When
before I
you
moved
first
in.
went there, you had to stay in there for how long before you came out?
Oh, it was 4 months.
Yeah, I didn't see him for a while,
Yeah.
but he stayed there, and I talked to him a lot, and he just stayed there, and he kept going and going and going. Yeah, it got a little frustrating, but when I seen him, he was looking better. He had a better attitude, and things seemed to be going good. He was telling me about the classes he was going to, which I had went through before through another program. And he told me later on that he was going to be graduating, and it was important for me to show up to it.
Oh, so you were there.
Yes, I was there.
You
I was
heard
there.
that incredible speech.
Oh yeah. When he came off the stage, I was the first one to greet him.
I was right down there. I should have spotted you, man.
Yeah, I was there, and
That's cool.
I took a video of it. Great speech. He spoke from the heart.
Yeah.
I've been knowing Donald for a while, and I knew he was speaking from the heart. And like sometimes we all need a push or a helping hand sometimes, and he found what fitted him, and it worked.
What I thought was cool, something you might want to know, is in those early months, I was leading a Celebrate Recovery group for men, and he was in there. And I saw some, I remember that was a pretty sobering experience. What do you remember? Why you seem like you really went through a transformation in those months when you became sort of a quiet leader within the Celebrate Recovery Men. What do you recall?
Just being at the rescue mission it gave me an opportunity to be still. And that was one of the key factors of me not focusing on everything outside those four walls. Like, I wanted to be intentional with everything I did. Just like the motto says, like, first you're gonna encounter God, then you're gonna work on yourself, then you're gonna find housing, then you're gonna find a job, and then you're gonna eventually become a productive citizen.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like encountering God and focusing on myself and bettering myself was the two main parts of the program that really helped me out.
Yeah.
And going to Celebrate Recovery every Tuesday, that was like, at first it was just, okay, you have to go here. You have to do this at least 4 times to complete your passport. But once you go and you hear these people talk about their experiences, and it's like, you want to talk, but it's like, nah, I'm gonna just sit and listen. Because you take in everything, and it's like, you may not know it, but you're learning something.
Yeah. So
And from every person that shared, I took a little bit from that, and I'm like, okay, how can I use what they just said to better myself?
yeah, and you did, man. You used that 8-step, 12-step program in a way that was pretty powerful. So, gentlemen, if you were talking to yourself years ago when you were, in a really dark place and needed encouragement, or maybe you're talking to a woman or a man, who knows where this video will land as we try to reach out. What kind of encouragement would you give them when they're feeling a little helpless? Maybe they feel like alcohol has whipped them, or a prison mentality has whipped them, or domestic violence, whatever it is. What would you say?
Well, my situation, I came from prison, and what helped me out the most was I went from prison to VBSD, straight there. I mean, I had nothing. I had a wife, but I couldn't go home. I had kids. They were there. They were younger kids, but I don't think they understood as much. But one thing I would tell people is to keep your head up and find what fits you. As far as going to program, me, I knew once I came from prison, if I'd hit the streets, I'd been still running. So when I was in prison, there was a program there in the prison that I went to, and I specifically went there for that. And I used to program every morning and night. Once I got out, I went to the program, and I couldn't go out for the first 30 days. It's nothing. It's nothing. They feed you, there's weights, anything you want to do, you just can't leave. You have to go to meetings. Meetings, surround yourself with different people. And the most important thing is find God. Find God or a higher power, whatever you choose. That's what worked for me. God was, I grew up in the church, so God was my higher power. And that's what helped me along the way. After I got to go out in the program, I still kept going to meetings. I was still surrounding myself around people. And being a vet, I went into another program, which is called the WAVE program. And that got me my job at the VA. And now I'm surrounded by so many health professionals that, if I have bad days, I can go talk to people. I got counselors, they have meetings there. So, you gotta surround yourself with people that are in the program and they're just like me. I surrounded myself with drug addicts when I was doing drugs. They were just like me, so I wanted to change, and that's what I did. I surrounded myself with better people, and that's what, was my key, my success.
Okay. Great feedback, man. Thank you. Donald, if you were to throw out some bullet points, guidance, advice, hope to some individuals, men, women, that might feel like they're at the end of their rope, what would that look like? What would you suggest?
Not to give up on themselves, because if you give up on yourself, then you're not going to allow other people that want to help you and want to see you win, you're not going to allow them to help you. So you have to want it for yourself. And I think that's the biggest thing. Most people, they want the help, but they don't know how to receive the help.
Now that's a powerful comment. In the years I've worked with folks coming out of a tough place, after they've fallen, if they can set ego aside and they can ask for help, that's huge, right?
That was my biggest issue.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I put myself in so many terrible positions, because I would not ask for help. I would do everything just so no one would know what I'm going through. I would do it myself to try to fix it, and the way I was going was not the correct way, which ended me in a position that led me to the San Diego Rescue Mission, which now looking at it, I truly believe that God knew exactly what he was doing. He knew where I needed to be at. He knew that I needed to go through this program because he had a plan for my life.
So I was sitting here just talking to you, enjoying this amazingly, beautifully designed place of yours, when this gentleman walked in and a conversation kicked off that I just wanted to capture on film. So here's a question for you guys. I've done a bunch of reading and I've drawn a conclusion that when people fall and when they get back up and they offer a little grace for themselves and others around them, and they find a better purpose, a bigger, higher purpose for their lives, more purpose for their life, that's what makes all the difference in the world. So if you don't mind my asking you first, what's this bigger purpose in your life that you did not experience before you went into prison? What's the purpose in your life? Why'd you walk in here with such joy and encouragement and light from my friend that just blew me away? Tell me about your purpose, man.
I think my purpose is to encourage people and help people along the way that are just like me. You know, I had been out of the program for a while now, but I feel like when Donald was going through it brought me back into it. It made me relive some of it and not get big-headed, and it just brought me back into it. And man, I have so much joy for Donald, man. It's I feel it in my heart, man. It's like I'm doing it,
Yeah. And what year did you come out of your program?
2005.
2005.
Yeah.
Check you out. 20 years,
20 years, yeah.
of success, man.
And
so what about, if I had to just ask you flat out, I think you answered it, but I want to ask you this real directly. What's the purpose of your life, my friend? Now.
The purpose of my life is to be successful for one, to have a relationship with my kids. My big purpose is to help others, to move forward, get out of the dumps or get out of the place where they're at when they're having bad times. I talk to a lot of people at the hospital. They have a program there, and people want to leave the place or the outside smoking, and they're really not, they're just getting into the program at the hospital. And, I just give them encouragement, strength, and hope. Because, I tell them, I don't mind telling my story. I'm not ashamed of my story. Mm-hmm. I tell people, and that's who I am today. I'm a totally different person, but I know where I came from.
And it comes across, man. When you walked in here, you have a presence, you have sincerity, a faith. So, short and sweet, Donald, what's your purpose now in life?
To touch someone with my story, to let them know that no matter what it is that you go through, there is a brighter tomorrow.
Excellent. Now, there have been some recent interviews with you in the press. First of all, I have your permission to use this video. May I link to those? I'll check with those news sites, but I think I'd try to link to some of those interviews because they were powerful.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, thank you. You offer inspiration to me, that's for darn sure. And I want to see if I can get this into the hands with some others that really need it right now. So, God bless you.